Last year alone, 71 media workers were killed while on duty, and almost 200 were thrown into jail. The most dangerous country was Syria, where the incomparable Anthony Shadid died in 2012. And Shadid, as everybody here knows, made his name here at the Post, worked in Boston too, had a rare gift for uncovering everyday stories that confirm, clarify, warn against, or utterly defy conventional assumptions about the direction and meaning of events. That's the best of journalism. And while pursuing these essential stories, he was shot and wounded in the West Bank, kidnapped and beaten in Libya, stalked in Lebanon, all before he even secretly entered into Syria to report on the civil war. Years ago, when I was in Vietnam, I would read occasionally or hear occasionally of a journalist who was killed, who had died. And almost always the reason was essentially an accident. Someone caught in a crossfire, perhaps stepping on a landmine. I think what distinguished it is it was essentially anonymous. That is not true today. Journalists then were rarely hunted. Today they are. In our era, roughly 2/3 of the reporters who die violently are killed not in spite of their profession, but because of it. And they are attacked for what they have written, silenced for what they have witnessed, or kidnapped for the leverage that their capture might provide. And in most cases, the perpetrators are never caught. In October 2007, Salih Saif al-Din was shot and killed while reporting on sectarian violence in the neighborhood southwest of Baghdad. Who murdered him is still not known. The why is anybody's guess. And years before, at the insistence of his employer at the Washington Post, he had moved away from his hometown of Tikrit, where corrupt officials had placed a bounty on his head. That's the price of journalism today. Salih's colleagues remembered him as a fearless questioner who never shied away from the toughest assignments. And he died in answer to a calling that matters, with the hope in his heart that the information that he uncovered would help his troubled country find a better future. The truth is that independent media, reporters, broadcasters, photographers, bloggers, even cartoonists are under constant pressure today, whether physical or political. And here we are, well into the 21st century, and yet only about 1 person in 6 lives in a country where the press can truly be described as free. So it is up to us, up to you, up to the defenders of liberty to close ranks. And this begins with the recognition that no government, whatever its pretensions and whatever its accomplishments, can fairly call itself great if its citizens are not allowed to say what they believe or are denied the right to learn about events and decisions that affect their lives. So let me underscore, a country without a free and independent press has nothing to brag about, nothing to teach, and no way to fulfill its potential. To those who try to intimidate or imprison reporters, we need to stand up and say loud and clear that committing journalism, reporting on the truth, is not a crime. It is a badge of honor. It is a public service. And that is why I'm proud that each day when America's embassies and consulates demand answers, voice objections, press for accountability on behalf of imprisoned or threatened journalists, I'm proud the State Department and USAID have programs that support independent media in more than 30 countries. I'm also proud to think that since Thomas Jefferson, up to this very moment, our country has been associated more than any other nation on the face of this planet with liberty of expression and thought.